no da 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 mo. Well, and we finally end things on Lana Rand. Boy, what a Lana Ray it is. Maybe that's fatigue, maybe that's just irritation, but the two animes we have today is something I don't really have much to say because it's Dr.Stone's Stone Wars and Violet Evergarden the movie, both of which I can summarize in about 2 sentences each. The first one being it's basically the same as the first season, but in the case of Dr. Stone, it's basically the same as the first season, but it also ends on where I've stopped reading the manga. After securing his title as the Science Man, Senku is preparing to march on the Tsukasa Empire in order to secure the source of miracle water that is required in order to save the whole humanity from petrification. To do so, he invents a tank. We also kinda see how Tsukasa men work and operate for all that's worth, and it all ends with the predictable Tsukasa's defeat and Senku going to find the source of petrification. Not to say that the anime is bad or anything, it's pretty much a new arc of the show, and it has about the same strength and weaknesses as the previous season. I did remember why I've stopped reading the manga though, and bear with me, cause this is going to be some pedantic nitpicking. The whole story arc felt childish and contrived since the very beginning, and I don't mean the petrification, nor that Senku stores an amount of knowledge that puts some Nobel winners to shame. It's the premise of the conflict between Senku and Tsukasa I have problems with. See, the main premise is that Senku wants to restore civilization, which also means restoring the entirety of world population. Tsukasa sees this new world as a chance for humanity to begin anew, and for that reason he wishes to destroy statues of adults. Senku disagrees with Tsukasa because killing people and playing God isn't a good thing. Tsukasa disagrees with Senku because he wishes to bring back every reason our civilization sucks. It all pretty much ends once Senku deduces that Tsukasa has a sister. And that's kind of the problem, see? Both sides are pretty much polar opposites on a question that doesn't really require a radical solution. Senku's plan is idealistic as civilization takes time. Tsukasa's plan is dumb because 1, people only listen to strong men as long as they're strong, and 2, it's not like a new civilization can't use technology for the betterment of humans. But yes, in the end, I simply got tired of the story. Once they've removed Tsukasa from the picture, there's pretty much no real reason to watch or read further. It's going to become another ongoing shonen plot where the science man uses science to beat anyone he doesn't like into submission. The only thing differing it from One Piece is that you can probably make something from Dr. Stone in real life. Which, you know what this reminds me of? Baccano! Yeah, that old anime. For those who don't know, Baccano is a 16-episode anime made by Studio Brainspace in 2007 that tells us a story about a conflict between a group of immortals in 1930s New York. But in effect, it tells us a story about how 3 groups of madmen met on a single train and what came out of it. It's a show that is best described as gimmicky because it shows a story from multiple points of view in different periods of time, and rule of cool, because every character in it has a very memorable personality, aka they're all mental. This is the show's strength and weakness, because your enjoyment of the show will depend on your ability to root for the characters and your ability to actually follow the damn story, both of which may not be as easy as it sounds. The fractured nature of the story requires you to carefully listen to it, or else you'll have a very high chance to skip or forget parts of it, and the characters, though easy to remember, very often provide nothing beyond the initial appearance, which is skewed in episode 1, and by episode 12 started to seriously test my patience. And that's the problem with these sorts of story, you know? They rely on the viewer to like the action on the screen enough to forget or forgive everything else that is grating about the series, which often works, so I can't fault the creators for choosing such an option, but it also results in a tedious and pretentious story that is much less smarter than it wants to be. As for the graphics and music, as a 2007 anime, it was the time when people kinda give a shit about those, so they're all nice to look at and listen to. I feel like I'm forgetting something.